Hi, my name is Faith. Thank you for joining me. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, a little extra special, because I'm going to be talking to you about my process of going through a divorce. This is unexpected and unfortunate, but I am going to tell you all about what happened. So get ready for a story time if you like those kind of videos. Also, I'm going to just let the Holy Spirit flow like always. And so may the Lord be glorified in this voiceover. We were just kind of at each other towards the end of our vacation and then fighting or arguing a lot coming home. Anyway, my husband always tries to stop me from leaving. I tell him that I have a boundary where when people are being rude to me or mean or raising their voice or belittling me or whatever the case is, that I'm going to take a break from that situation and physically leave. And he always tries to stop me from leaving. So on this particular occasion, he tried to stop me from leaving, and he tried to stop me from taking my child. And as I was switching her car seat into my car so that I could take her, he locked me out of the house. I don't think he knew that I had my house key, but I opened up the door and then it couldn't open it all the way because the chain lock was locked. So then I told him, let me into my house. And he did not. And so I freaked out. He said, you're not coming in and you're not taking Layla. And I freaked out. I smashed into the door over and over again trying to get in. And then I took my cell phone and called 911. But 911 wasn't working on my phone. And I already knew that it wasn't going to work because my dad had had a seizure in Massachusetts the other day before this happened. And I called 911 and it did nothing. And then I just, was panicking. So I'm I have all of this recorded too, but I'm not going to play that for you. But it's just me screaming hysterical, locked out of my house and denied access to my child. My husband and I are not legally married. And he is not on the birth certificate either. So he has no legal rights to this child. And yet he's denying me access. So yeah, I freaked out. And then eventually he just opened the door and let me in. Calmly talked to me and convinced me to just leave Layla with him when I left. So I did leave. And because that had just happened, I went to an emergency services place to get a gift card for $50. And then I drove all the way to Walmart to get a phone card so that I could activate my phone. Because there was no way over my dead body am I going to come home and have him and my child be gone and have to call the police and not have a phone that works because I'm also locked out of my house. There's no way I'm going to put myself in this situation ever again. So I was preparing for the worst case scenario. So at this point, I really had no intention of divorce at all. I just went to Walmart. I got the phone card. I tried to activate the phone and it didn't work. And I realized it was because my phone wasn't activated. It's a straight talk phone, so it comes with an activation card, but I had never used this phone as an actual cell phone. I got an extra phone for the purpose of filming videos and editing videos. So, I had to come home and get the card to activate it first. But while I was in town, I got to do some errands and see my family and stuff like that. And I was talking to my sister Mary and telling her a little bit about my situation. And she said, Faith, the next time it happens, it's going to be worse. It's always worse. The next time is going to be physical. And I didn't believe her. So on my way home, I have almost a 2-hour drive. I had a lot of time to think about it and pray about it and think about other stuff too. And it occurred to me that actually she's right. because every single situation that's bad does escalate. And it was at that moment that I just decided, if somebody's behavior is putting me in a situation where I need to call 911, like not like my dad having a seizure because he didn't choose that, but if someone's behavior towards me is putting me in a situation where I need to call 911, I'm not ever going to be in that situation again. Like, that's enough. That's the line that I'm drawing to be done, right? Other people have a different breaking point. There's actually a song, "Every woman has a breaking point." I'm not singing that right, but there is a song that's called that. Yeah, so that's mine, right? Your breaking point might be a broken bone from a man. Your breaking point might be someone cheating on you. It might be someone going through your phone. It might be something big or something small. It all depends on people's perspective. But I was like, you know what? That's it. That's enough. I don't need a broken bone to leave a bad situation that's continuously getting worse. I'll just take it right now and just get out. So when I got home, my husband was mad at me for being selfish. So yeah, I'll give him that. I'm selfish sometimes. Then he proceeded to yell at me about how he's going to miss work because I left him all day with a baby and he didn't get any sleep. Mind you, I already explained what happened, so it's not like I just left him there to take care of a baby all day. Like, I tried to leave with her and he locked me out of the house and denied access to my child. So anyway, he wants to fight with me and I'm just like, no. I'm gonna get a divorce because I'm not doing this anymore. And so that was day one of me getting a divorce. For the most part. I mean, we kept fighting a little bit and avoiding each other. And he got so mad, he tried to just kick me out, like, get out, get out. And I'm like, no, this is my legal residence and I am not leaving. I am gonna try to have everything out within 2 weeks. And he just tried kicking me out, even though I kept saying I'm going to try and have everything out in 2 weeks. I have 4 cars to move. I have a camper. I have 4 years of my life to pack up of myself and my child. And so I think 2 weeks to get every single thing off of this property is a pretty tremendous feat. But he's just like, no, get out now. Get out now. I don't want to be around you. How can I trust you in my house? And I'm just like, how did you trust me in your house all the time? Like, what do you think? What do you think I'm going to take? What? Like your DVDs? Like the remote? Like, what do you think I'm going to do? So he called the police. We have 2 phones. We have a landline phone that's like corded. And we have like the battery operated one that you can pick up. So he got on the wireless phone and I got on the corded phone so that he could call the police and talk to the sheriff, and I could hear and also talk to the sheriff. And my husband tried to like disconnect or unplug the phone, so I wasn't able to do that, and I just kept like getting in his way, so he couldn't, because that's ridiculous. The sheriff said, you guys have lived together for a while. You have a child involved. There's no physical violence. And so if you can just separate and be in separate rooms, we're not coming to make anybody leave. And I said, thank you so much, officer. Because I already told him the sheriff is not making us leave. Like, we're both legal residents here. We both live here. And that's just too bad for you. And so the sheriff said exactly what I had told him. So, day 2 of my divorce experience, I have had a doctor appointment and an eye doctor appointment planned for this day. And my husband said that he would watch my daughter so I could do these appointments without a child to make it easier. And so because he's mad at me because I want a divorce, he's backing out on childcare. Now I have to scramble last minute to find childcare, which actually isn't a problem because I'm moving back to Washington County and Layla has 2 cousins who are her age from my sisters, Beth and Mary. So their daughters all are babysat together at Mary's house because she's able to watch them. So Layla could just go over there. She also has like 6 years of childcare experience from working in a daycare. And she's CPR certified and first aid certified. But Michael will always pick apart and tear down every single support person that I have in my life, whether it's my mom or my dad or my sister or my brother or whoever it is. He'll just find a reason like, no, you can't go over there, or no, I don't want Layla there. And so I have recordings of him doing this because of our fighting. So anyway, on day 2, I have these appointments. I ended up taking Layla with me for the whole day, and we had a pretty great day. We had a regular morning routine, right? Diaper change, get dressed, eat breakfast, and then we headed out for a very long car ride. The eye appointment was a little difficult because she was getting so antsy. There was a point during my eye exam where I had like this machine goggle strapped to my head, and I couldn't focus on the target very well because my child was like running around and dropping stuff. I gave her a phone to listen to or to play a game with, and it kept exiting out and I couldn't fix it. And then I was doing the exam, and the eye doctor who was there was like showing her pictures on the wall and trying to just help out. So that was a little bit challenging, difficult, chaotic for me, overwhelming. But I got through it. And then we were able to go to Big Rock to go swimming because we just so happened to be in Waitsfield and we were driving by. I was going to take her to a playground, but then I was like, let's go swimming. So that worked out great. And then about 10 minutes down the road, going towards Montpelier, is the Dairy Cream. And so we stopped there to have creamy, which is just soft serve ice cream if you're not from Vermont. And it was great, and it was really nostalgic because when I was a kid growing up, that's what we would do. We would go to Big Rock, and then we would stop at the Dairy Cream to get a creamy, and then we would just go home and chill out on a summer day. And so it was so cool to be able to take my daughter to do that stuff with me. Just to interject here from my story, this footage right here is the beginning of me starting to pack my stuff. I was like looking around so overwhelmed, and I'm like, I don't even know where to start. Let me just pick a cube out of my cube shelf. Take a deep breath. And I'll just start there. Okay, back to divorce day 2. I tried to feed my daughter chicken nuggets and french fries that I had packed for her lunch while we were at the creamy place, but I don't think there's anyone child alive who's like, let me eat some real food over this delicious creamy. And that goes for her as well. So she did not have a very good lunch, unfortunately. So she started getting cranky and tired, and it wasn't really time for a nap yet. And I had other stuff to do, and I had like an awkward hour of if I drop her off at my sister's, it's just going to be like drive to Barrie and then back to Montpelier and then have my appointment and then go right back to Barrie. And logically in my head, that was spending way too much time driving and too much money on gas. So I just drove around until she fell asleep because I didn't know what else to do. And then I went to my doctor appointment early and was editing in my car. And I also started falling asleep because I was so exhausted from like the stress levels of getting a divorce and the high tension in my house and like my husband just having problems with that. And wow, I was exhausted. But luckily, I kept myself mostly awake and I did not miss my appointment. I carried in my sleeping child with me and just set her on the couch because my doctor office is cool and she has a couch along with the regular medical chairs and stuff. So I got it done. Thank you, God. What a miracle that I can do appointments with my child. So great. So after all that, I went to visit my sister. I stopped at the store to get some groceries because we had such a ice cream lunch that we needed some real food. I got like bread and bananas and crackers and easy food to eat and also cook. We got some errands done. I took her to the playground because that's like always on my to-do list if we have to be in the car is usually library and playground. And I don't really want to disturb her regular routine very much. I mean, like, obviously going swimming is great and that's not a disturbance at all, even though it's something we don't do every day. But like library and playground is really on almost a daily checklist if we're going to be out and about. And so my sister has a playground right next to her house, and that's the playground we went to. But I was going to run back upstairs and I was going to grab all these cute clothes that my sister has for me. And after the playground, it was just time to get in the car and go home. So, note to self, I still have to get those clothes. So, after the playground, we went to my mom's house. We ended up staying the night there, which was kind of nice. Layla had a fantastic time playing with both of my parents, which was kind of interesting because I thought we were both totally exhausted and ready for bed, and we still went to bed early. But that girl just has so much energy. She was all about all the toys and the dolls and the balls and the grandpops and the grandma and the everything else. And I was just like, wow, child, how do you have so much energy? It is because you are 2 years old. That is amazing. So the other major thing that happened on day 2 is I did get my phone activated. I had time to do that in the morning before I left, and it was like a necessity because I didn't want to get to Waitsfield to this eye doctor I have never been to and just somehow not be able to find the address, even though it was located on Main Street. I was like, I really just need to get this working so that I can use the GPS just in case I get lost or something goes haywire. I can't miss this appointment. I can't be late. I just need to get it done. There's already enough chaos going on, and I just want this to go smoothly. I do have some positive takeaways to tell you from this experience. The number one thing is that instead of asking my husband for permission, I'm just very clear and direct in my communication. When I was asking him about him watching my daughter for my appointments, I said, would it be okay if? And then immediately I said, no, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say is da 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 da. Like, not would it be okay, because we're not together and I don't care if it's okay with you or not. I'm going to do whatever I want. I need to know, are you going to watch Layla so that I can go to these doctor appointments, or am I going to have to find childcare elsewhere? That's the question. And I didn't say it with that much attitude either, because when I caught myself and I realized that I had regained my own power, my eyes lit up and I could see in his facial expression that he saw my eyes light up like I had regained my power back. And so it was a moment. Yeah, it was a moment. A very good moment. I was just delighted about it. The other awesome thing is I am just so excited to have a cell phone again. It is so cool because before this happened, he was like, I'm going to turn the internet off when I go to work so that you can't use it. Actually, anytime that I'm not here, I'm just going to turn the internet off so you can't use it. And I was like, why? And I never really got an answer except for that he's controlling. And so now, like, I have unlimited data on my cell phone and I can just, like, drive down the road, or when I'm not living here anymore, anywhere I go pretty much, I will have internet on my phone. And so that's exciting because I can just upload whenever I want. I can call whoever I want. I can text whoever I want. And I won't have a husband who goes through my phone and stuff either. And like, oh, who are you talking to? Oh, what are you doing? Or falsely accusing me for whatever is on my phone or whatever. Yeah, that last part actually has nothing to do with the phone, because whether you have a phone or not, false accusers are just going to be falsely accusing because that's what they do. A third great thing about this experience is that I am not in a rush to really do anything. I'm kind of surprised that I'm not in a rush to go back to the land. And I actually have plants that I never planted, perennial fruit-bearing trees that need to go into the ground. But I'm not in a rush to go to the land. I'm not in a rush to go anywhere or do anything in particular. So I just find that very interesting. And I'm curious if other people who are going through a divorce like feel that way or have that settled in them. I'm also not experiencing any sadness at all. Like part of me keeps thinking like, what's in the best interest for the children? And immediately it's like not seeing me degraded and belittled, right? Not seeing their stepmom or their mom degraded and belittled. Not like her not being sweared at. That's great for the children. Like not having a bad example set before them. Absolutely excellent for the children. And so honestly, I'm really not seeing any negative side effect of this divorce at all, which is amazing. I'm sure many, many people get divorced and they don't have that experience. And maybe it's just not hitting me yet. I might have like, emotional healing and processing to do. And definitely like breaking soul ties, right? Oh, that's a whole topic. Yeah, so I just find it very interesting that I'm not in a rush. I guess that's really ultimately the peace that surpasses all understanding, but also the sense of renewed freedom and joy and happiness and delight and revival coming back into myself, to just be free to be myself and to have the freedom to do whatever I want. I love it. I'm never ever getting married ever again. It is not worth it. Although I have to disclaim that by saying I entered into my marriage by the spirit of lust. And so when you have a seed that is wicked and the seed belongs to Satan, like lust, there's no way that that's going to grow up to be a beautiful, godly tree because the seed itself belongs to Satan. So the plant and the tree that it grows into is also going to belong to Satan. And of course, God is powerful and mighty and he can redeem anything that he wants. But why don't you just ask him yourself about seeds of Satan? Just ask him and see what he has to say about it. Because yes, he is a redeemer. But ask him and see what he says. The other thing and last thing I want to mention about going through this divorce is I just opened up a little section of my phone in the notes app, and I'm just taking notes about the different things that we're doing throughout the day. It's a balance of moving, figuring everything out about my whole entire life all at once within 2 weeks, and also maintaining normalcy, balance, and routines for my daughter. And so that's why I'm taking notes. I am a forgetful person. I have almost no memories of my childhood. And so I don't want to forget things. And so I'm just taking notes. And it's very simple and basic. It literally is like doctor appointment, eye appointment, Big Rock creamies. And so I'm finding that to be very helpful for me. As far as day 3 of my divorce, that is actually going to be a vlog video. And it's really interesting because I'm talking directly to the camera instead of just a voiceover. And you can see how I am literally finding myself and regaining myself back because I'm just like explaining something and you can see the light in my eyes. And it's literally like my spirit is being revived and my joy is being restored. And so as I'm editing, like it almost makes me want to cry. It's really an amazing thing when you're just torn down for years and years to have that restoration. Even the Bible says that everything the enemy has torn down or destroyed, God will build it back up and replace it. Look at what happened to Job. The enemy took everything from him except for his wife, who actually told him, curse God and die. And then God restored everything times 2. On another note, the way that people might experience ups and downs, I'm actually not experiencing that right now. I'm just experiencing it in a way of heightened levels of stress or lesser levels of stress. I don't know that I'm in the point of no stress, but already immediately our sleeping has improved. We are waking up early and going to bed early. We are having fun-filled, productive days, and our diet is actually probably suffering a little bit, in all honesty, just for the moment. I think that once I get Layla's high chair to wherever I'm going to be staying, probably at my mom's house, I think that's going to really solve a lot of problems because she's used to eating in her high chair and it just gives her her own space, but it's just going to be an adjustment to get into regular routines in a different house. My mom's place is a hard place for me to be at because there is a lot of clutter all over every single flat surface. And it's like they run out of room, so they put more flat surfaces to fill it up with more clutter. And also, she keeps her curtains closed all the time, so it's pretty dark and it's also smelly. So I was considering, like, should I apply for emergency housing? And the answer is no. That is a whole hassle and headache in itself. But also, whatever's wrong with my mom's house doesn't really matter. I think last year or maybe 2 years ago at this point, somebody called DCF on me. That is Department of Children and Families. Also, people know that as CPS. But they called the state agency on me. And the report from DCF said that I was overwhelmed. And I was like, really? Like, I'm a new mom and DCF is opening a case on me because I was overwhelmed. Like, are you serious? Like, do you not know that it's normal for moms to sometimes be overwhelmed? And the poor guy was just like, I'm just doing my job. Like, he didn't say that. He was very professional. But, I mean, that's the vibe I got from him. Anyway, I let him come right into my mom's house and take a look around because I have nothing to hide at all whatsoever. And neither does my mom or my sisters or anyone else in my family. So, on a whole separate note, let's talk about this footage real quick. The first 11 minutes and 39 seconds is the last edited portion I have of me cleaning my house before I decided I was getting divorced. Wow, when I said that, did you guys feel the heaviness and the weight that was carried inside of those words that came out of my mouth? That was an interesting experience. There is power of life and death in the tongue, and that was just heavy and fascinating. So, this is mostly a cleaning video with the beginning stages of me packing. But if you were here for the upbeat, motivational cleaning video, I'm going to post a shorter one than this with repeat footage from the same video. I just don't want to leave my subscribers hanging. If you subscribe for upbeat, motivational cleaning content, that's what I'm here for. That's why I started this channel, because I myself need it. So that upbeat cleaning video is going to be posted at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of the regular 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But on the same time, I just needed to talk to you about my life and what's going on in this whole divorce situation. Obviously, I've been talking for a while and I have a lot to say about it. But this video is coming to a close. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's different than usual. It's not every day that you can go through a divorce and share your life experience. So, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you found it truly inspiring and motivational. And I hope you come back for more. Have a great day, have a great week, and have a fantastic weekend. Also, leave comments to add to the conversation. I know I covered so many different topics, and I know the Holy Spirit showed up in this voiceover like he's been doing. So let me know all of it in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for being here. Bye.